Hey, as many of you out there may or may not know, today is the 2nd of the month, and that means it's Every Second Matters Day. Every Second Matters is a little movement I'm involved with where we try to bring attention to the Second Amendment on the 2nd of every month. We would try to normalize some pro-gun activities. On the 2nd of every month, I choose to open carry. Now, I do this not to be sensationalist or anything like that. I do it to start conversations. People that may know me or see me daily that don't otherwise know I carry a gun because I conceal carry get to see me carrying a gun, and they get to ask the questions like, why? And I get to have a dialogue with them about why I carry a gun. So that's what I do on the 2nd. You can do whatever you want to do. Just start a conversation with people. But since I am open carrying today, I thought I would take this time to answer some questions I often get about open carrying, but still getting through your day without hassle. So this video today is going to be my top 5 tips for successfully open carrying without getting hassled. Now, before I get on with the list here today, I want to cover one topic I know people are going to bring up, and that is retention holsters. A lot of people think that if you carry openly, a retention holster is a must. I don't agree. Now, I'm not going to really take the pro or the con as far as retention holsters are concerned here, but I am going to say this. The responsibility of maintaining control of your firearm lies with you and your awareness of what's going on around you. That's the number one thing. It's much safer to have someone who actually pays attention to who's around them, who's getting in their personal space, who's behind them, who might be acting odd. If that person had a regular holster, I would still feel more secure about them than some guy who had a retention holster who felt like he didn't have to pay as much attention now because he has a retention holster. I just don't think they're necessary. I think there's so many other things that are more important, like situational awareness. Now, if you want to add a retention holster to add that little bit of extra safety, but still be aware, more power to you. I don't think it's necessary. If you've ever tried to pull a holster out of a gun out of a holster from behind at an angle, especially a leather holster, you're going to find it ain't easy to do. It would definitely give the person time to react. But if you want a retention holster, use a retention holster. As long as you practice with it and you're used to using it and it's something you use regularly, not just when you open carry, go for it. If you carry it just when you open carry, I'm afraid it might be a problem if you actually need your gun. And like I said, it isn't needed, so why use it? But like I say, your choice. Maintaining your gun in your possession is your responsibility. Do it how you see fit. Now, number 5 on the list of things to do so that you can successfully open carry without being hassled is don't cross campaign. Now, you might be asking yourself, what does that mean, don't cross campaign? Well, basically it means if you have other things you feel strongly about, like you're going to go out and protest for something today, don't mix that with open carry. Unless it's about gun rights and open carry doesn't go with a lot of things as far as activism is concerned, because it makes people think you're taking a violent position, like give me what I want or else. And it really will just cause you problems, won't help either of your causes, will hurt both of them, because sometimes two things don't go together. And activism for other causes and firearms don't generally go together until you're ready to fight for your rights. And if you're still at the point where you're protesting or engaging in activism, then you're not really ready to fight for your rights. You're not wanting to make it a physical fight. You just want to try to get something done. And you're not going to get something done by mixing those two things together. You're going to hurt your cause. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, that's an unfair compromise. It's not a compromise, because what it is smart activism. If you want to help causes, you do what you have to do to help them. This is PR. And that's what this video is about. It's about getting through your day without hassle. So that's my number 5 thing. Don't cross campaign. If you want to open carry, open carry. If you want to go walk a picket line or something else, pull your shirt out and cover your gun. It's not that hard to do. It doesn't hurt our rights in any way, and it'll help you further both your causes. Now, number 4 on the list is something I'm doing today. Wear a removable holster, something you can easily take off without having to take off your belt or your trousers. And you might ask, well, why would I want to do that if I'm open carrying? Well, there's some places you can't open carry. Like say you have to go into the post office or your kid's school. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't like walking in with an empty holster. I mean, it just looks funny. This is my own personal preference. It just looks weird. It's like wearing an I'm with stupid t-shirt and you're not with anybody. Or free mustache rides and you don't have a mustache. That just brings up a lot of questions in my mind. It's like walking around with your dick hanging out without your, hey, look at this shirt with the arrow pointing down. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I just don't like it. And plus, it brings attention to you in some places where there's heightened alert, like in a post office or a government building, etc., where people might see the gun and think, well, maybe he's got it in his pocket, or the holster, where's his gun? What do you do with his gun? And then there's people that be like, okay, his holster's empty. Where's his gun? Did he leave it in the bathroom, or did he leave it in his car? What did he do? Is his car locked? You know, it just brings up a lot of questions. So it's nice to just be able to pop your holster off. I'm carrying outside the waistband today in a 1791 holster. It's a paddle holster. It's basically just like the one I carry outside waistband, except that it's a paddle holster. It comes off easier. So this is great for open carry as far as I'm concerned. And another thing I would say to you, though, if you are going to take a holster off, it is nice to be able to take it off just easily, you know, without someone calling the police like, hey, there's some pervert taking his pants off in the post office parking lot or the grade school parking lot, even worse. So it's good for that. But have a place you're going to put it in your car. A glove box, locking glove box preferred, a console, you know, under the seat even, or have a safe under your seat like I do to store mine in. Really makes it easy for you to take it off, put it somewhere, and then put it back on when you come back out. But that's number 4 on my list of things to do if you want to get through your day without being hassled. Just wear an easily removable holster. All right, number 3 on the list is going to make a lot of people mad here. But remember, this isn't about being pro-Second Amendment. This is about getting through your day without being hassled. And number 3 is choose an appropriate weapon. And by that I mean, choose a firearm that looks like it's defensive. As much as I hate it, a lot of people see handguns as defensive, long guns as offensive. So if you look like you're walking around all day with an offensive weapon, you're going to ruffle a lot of feathers. And like I said here, your goal is to get through your day without hassle, make a positive statement for the Second Amendment. Unless you're engaged in some activism, a rally, whatever at that time, then you're probably not doing anybody a lot of good walking around with an AR pistol strapped on your belt or an AK over your shoulder to go shopping at the Piggly Wiggly. It just doesn't work out well. Now, sometimes it's necessary for activist things, like in Texas, where they were trying to bring attention to the light that they can openly carry their rifles into a store, but not their handguns, and how ridiculous that law was. Well, then it makes sense. But to just go about your day and not try to get hassled, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe we'll live in a world someday where people don't see any firearms as offensive, but we still do. People get nervous around long guns. So my advice is just choose an appropriate weapon. Choose something that looks like you're going to defend yourself and others, if you have to, not something that looks like you're getting ready to shoot up a bus full of nuns, you know, because that's what people think. So just choose an appropriate weapon. You'll get through your day a lot easier. Okay, number 2 here is something I think most of us probably do anyway. And if you don't, you should. And it is be a Boy Scout. Be someone who's polite, who's courteous, open doors for people, help old ladies off the curb, make eye contact with people when you're speaking to them, be polite, be personable, say please, thank you. If you're at a checkout, be kind to the cashier. Don't be a bitch. And like I said, make eye contact. Talk to them. People tend to be far less afraid of people who make eye contact and are personable and polite than they are people that, you know, act surly or sketchy. So just be a good guy, and a lot of people won't even notice that you're a good guy with a gun. They'll just notice you're a good guy. And if they do notice your gun, they'll be like, hey, that good guy's carrying a gun. Maybe I feel a little safer. But if you act like a dick and you're carrying a gun, they're going to be like, that dick's got a gun. Maybe the police need to come see what's going on. So just be a good person. Just be nice, be polite. Like I said, be a Boy Scout. Okay, now number 1 on my list here is the thing that I have found to be the most successful in keeping me from being hassled when I'm carrying. Now it might seem shallow, but the number 1 thing you can do to get through your day without being hassled while open carrying is dress nicely. Don't dress like you're a gangbanger or like you're a homeless person. Now, I'm not saying those in judgmental ways, but I'm saying it helps. I normally dress like a colorblind homeless person. But when I'm open carrying, I go out of my way to make sure I've trimmed my cheeks, etc., and wear decent clothes. My clothes look like they've been washed. I look like I've been washed in the last week. I smell like I've been washed in the last week. I go to that extra effort that I'm not saying I don't always do that, but I don't always do that, but I go to that effort when I'm open carrying because my appearance means a lot. We are a visual species. Our first sense of danger comes from usually either our hearing or our sight. And it's generally our sight because we can see things from farther away than we can hear them. So if we see someone that looks sketchy, we judge them as being sketchy. We're a very judgmental race also. So look good. If they see a good-looking guy with a gun, they pay more attention to the good-looking guy. And I'm not saying I'm good-looking, but at least I'm not offensively filthy or anything like that. Now, I can understand, like, I just came from working in the community garden feeding the homeless, and so I'm a little dirty and sweaty and nasty, and I'm open carrying, and people are judging me unfairly. Yes, that's true. They are judging you unfairly, but they're still judging you. I would love to live in a world where you could do that. No one would think anything of open carrying, but we don't. So if the goal is to get through the day without being hassled, just look the part. Look like a gentleman. Look like a lady. Look like someone who actually thought about their appearance today. That'll go a long way into getting you through your day without being hassled. Now, this is where I would normally end the video. We'd fade to black here. But I've got one more thing I need to say. There is one trump card, pardon the phrase, that you can pull and get away with open carrying often if you don't do any of the other things. And that is, be white. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or funny or anything like that. I'm saying that truthfully. Especially be a upper middle class white guy like myself, especially an older upper middle class white guy. People don't see me as a threat. And it's got a lot to do with the color of my skin. That's the way it is. I hate that, but that's the way it is. If a black man who lived next door to me, worked at the same place as me, wore the same clothes as me, drove the same car, if we both walked into a public place open carrying a gun, he would face a great deal more scrutiny than I would. Now, I know a lot of the white nationalists out there are going to be screaming, that's white racism, that's racism against white people. No, it's not. It's just pointing out a fact. It's the society we live in. It's not saying anything bad about us as white people. I don't feel guilty that that's the way it is because I didn't have anything to do with making it that way. But I can acknowledge that that's the way it is. People who have brown, black, other colored than white skin face more scrutiny when they're doing something questionable in this country. It's sad. It's the sad truth. A white guy could get away with, like I said, not doing anything on that list. Black guy has to be extra careful when he's carrying openly. And they know that. And it's sad, and it's something we need to change in this country. I'm not saying I'm going to be able to change it, or that you should be able to change it, or are going to be able to change it, but we should at least try. We should start being a little more colorblind when it comes to things like carrying a firearm, the Second Amendment, etc. Remember, it's for everyone. Black, white, trans, straight, gay, whatever, the Second Amendment is for everyone. I would like to get to where we live in a day and age where a black person and a white person could do everything on this list or nothing on this list. And no one would care if they were carrying a weapon openly. But that's not the world we live in. So for now, let's just acknowledge the fact that it isn't as easy for some people as it is for some others to get through their day without being hassled when they choose to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
Oops.
Go ahead. It's a lady at 46 South Road. 46 South Road.
Station 1 call, brief tone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 to go to that location also.